Good evening and happy Marvelous Monday, people. We are back with the recapping your greatest and latest reality shows. We are here to recap season 10, episode 8 of Real Housewives of Potomac. How you doing, Auntie?
How you doing? Listen, let me tell you something. Potomac is giving me life, so I'm doing very well.
Honey, okay? It's giving TV at its best, okay? TV at its best. It has been a beautiful episode. I love this episode. It was lively, it was loud, and in living color. Okay, the girls was in all the business. We got to learn some personal information about some people. You know, we got to know some of the other wives a little bit better. This was a really good episode, Potomac.
Yes.
Yeah, bravo. But hold on. Somebody must have got fired at the Peacock this morning, Diva. Because the episode was not up this morning, Peacock. I had to post on my Instagram and at Peacock and Bravo. Where's episode 8? And then finally, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, they finally dropped the episode. I almost have my notes for the recap. Now, Peacock, y'all want the people to come off the cable. I came off the cable and I downloaded y'all app, even though I still got y'all on cable.
That part, which I think is messed up. That's a whole nother story. You ain't never lie.
Yes, but I digress. I'm gonna get on my soapbox too early.
Okay.
But listen, good evening, everybody. We thank you for joining us. We are live on both channels. So if you can either go to Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, make sure you hit that like button, or if you're watching on Royaire's World, hit the like button on both channels and subscribe to both of our channels. And we're gonna get into this. But before we get into this, we got to talk about the latest and the greatest street news. Let's jump into street news.
Come on, what the street saying? What the street saying?
So, you know, the latest and the greatest news is unfortunately, you know, Todd and Kandi have separated, okay? Yeah. Well, Kandi normally, and you know what, Diva, I'm a true fan of the people, okay? Because, you know, I subscribe to the people's text messages and stuff. And Kandi, she texted me today and she said she was going live on Amazon, on her Amazon Live account. I said, oh, let me run down to the Amazon Live because I do watch her on the Amazon.
You love to follow the.
It's called support, okay? I support the people.
You do not play with the support, honey.
I support the people because I want the people to support me when I blow up. So I got to support the people, okay?
Holla, okay, holla.
You know, I said, let me run on down here to the Amazon and see what Kandi got to say. Because, you know, normally she gives us good ideas for gifts, things that she buys, you know, that are, you know, inexpensive or whatever. So I was like, let me run down here and see what Kandi got to say. Well, Kandi has some information to share with us about her recent divorce announcement. She shares with us, you know what, let me just let the clip play and then we can talk about it.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm ready.
And to be clear, yes, I filed Friday, but you know, this is something that, you know, has been brewing for a while. So all the times you be seeing me online like, all of that means nothing. I've been going through it, child. I've been going through it. Life has been lifing me. Okay? Thank you. Well, what I will say is, Todd and I were together for, our marriage lasted 11 years. We was together like 14. We got 2 wonderful, beautiful children. I have no regrets. Okay, so I mean, sometimes things don't work out, and it just is what it is. So that I filed for divorce on Friday, and yeah, feeling today. Okay, Sage, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am up and down. You know, obviously going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. You know, sometimes, you know, you're cool, you know what I mean? You're moving, you're mixing, you're moving, you're hanging out with friends. But then sometimes you have your moments of sadness, you know. And me being the Taurus that I am, I like to keep those moments to myself. When I was on Housewives, I really couldn't keep moments to myself when I got upset, so y'all would catch me crying. But in real life, my everyday life, you know, I don't really like for those moments to be shared with the world. So, but I am sharing with my Amazon family today. So, feeling today.
Any thoughts, Auntie, on our girl Candy?
You know I love Candy. You know I always did and I always will. And yes, divorce ain't easy. And usually by the time they announce it to us, yes, it's true. It's been something that's been brewing for a minute. So she says she's been going through it. And I guess she finally said, you know what, the heck with it. I'm gonna, just go ahead and just, let this thing go. I feel for her. But what I love what she said though is no regrets. And I'm gonna tell you what, as we go through this Potomac episode, I'm gonna tell you why I really loved her saying no regrets. You know what? Because life is to be lived, Royaire. Stuff happens. She tried it. Like she said, they got two beautiful children, but at the end of the day, she got no regrets. And I'm not mad at her for that. And I respect her for saying that. And I'm sure some days you happy, some days you sad. I'm sure she's crying. I'm sure she's going through it. But you know what? I give her respect for too, the strength to go ahead and pull the plug. Because sometimes too, what people are doing when they playing games with your heart like that, they're thinking like you ain't gonna pull the plug because you don't want nobody to know and all of that other stuff. But you know what? She had the strength to pull the plug, and I'm rooting for Candy. And you know what? I'm rooting for the both of them to be able to co-parent nicely. And on that note, since Candy's been going through this for a while, Todd, you leave with no money.
Whoa.
What you came with is what you leave with. Period.
But what about what he made within the marriage with her?
What he came with is what he leaves with.
No,
period.
That's not legal.
Okay. Well,
Candy shouldn't have slapped his name on all of these businesses and plays she was doing if she didn't want him to have no money from it.
Well, we'll see.
Listen, no, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for, just positivity for both of them. I'm rooting that they can both co-parent in a healthy manner. I believe we talked about this last week when we did our show. Both of their children are in their single digits. I want to say 9 and 5 it was, I think they said. So I just, at this point, I want the parents to be able to co-parent in a healthy way so that Ace and Blaze can just live a good, happy life. Hopefully nothing too much changes other than, just mommy and daddy not being in the same place together. But I desire the love be there, the joy be there, and the peace be there. And Mama Joyce, we do not need you going on a tour around the world telling us that you was right. We know already, okay? We don't need you to rub it in our faces.
I don't even know if I want to say she was right, because it's been like she said, I'm 50 goals said now Diva, he deserves something. All right, we'll give him some pocket change.
Yeah, don't do him don't do Todd like that. All the abuse that he had to take from Candy family, whatever.
We'll give him some pocket change. But you know what?
He lost his mama fooling with Mama Joyce. We ain't got time for that.
We got time for that. Listen, all jokes aside though, I don't feel 100% Mama Joyce was right. I think that, like Candy said, they have 14 years together. They got 2 beautiful children, and sometimes things just don't work out. But like I said, I'm gonna tell her, God bless her for having the strength to move on. Like, me, I struggle with moving on sometimes, and I've been praying lately that that spirit leaves me, that I know how to cut it off at the head when I need to. Okay, snippy snip, and and just carry on with life. But I commend her, and I know that it's hard, and I'm rooting for her. That's what I could say.
Yes, best wishes to them. Like you said, Diva, it's what's the old saying? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away.
Yeah,
and it's
know
time
when to run. And it's time for Candy to run.
Come on, we done with this. Because you let's get into why we are really here tonight, everyone. We are here to recap season 10, episode 8 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, entitled Pride and Pettiness. More lies and fake friends is what I got to say about it, okay? Woo-wee. Okay, Diva, let me tell you, this was so good. You know, so we're ending off last week. We came back from Nevis. We were back in Potomac. You know, the girls were getting back into their own individual lives and what they had going on. Gizelle was in court last week for her dad. Angel met up with her sister. You know, Greg and Kay are doing well, I guess. And so this week we are back. We went to Jazzy's wedding, beautiful wedding. You know, and then we came back to get on the G&A float for the Pride in DC, okay? So, you know, Monique enters the scene. Monique, you know, comes in dancing, waving her hands. She's back. She's doing it, you know. And so Kay decided to bring up Stacey allegedly dating Monique's ex-husband, Chris, but brings the information wrong, saying that, oh, you know Stacey because she dates your ex. Y'all know each other. And Gizelle said, no. Stacey knows Chris. She doesn't know Monique. That's not how that went down, okay? So just stop, okay? And so Stacey's sitting there looking like, what are we doing? The other ladies are like, why are you being messy? This is whack. This is lame. Wendy's confused. Everybody's confused. Even Angel was like, ooh, this is not looking right, okay? And to that fact, Kay, what are you doing? You got all of this energy and smoke for Stacey for what? And we address this later. As she said, you don't even have a husband. So you're trying to have beef with someone who's been a girlfriend, a wife, an ex-wife, and now about to be a wife again. And you still sit on the sideline waiting somebody to propose to you. Girl, bye. Get out of here. Go sit down somewhere. You know, Monique said that she could care less who Chris dates. They've been divorced for 3 years. She has moved on. And as long as they like kids, she good with it. The people, you know, they love to flirt with Ashley when she's a guy. When she's dressed up in her, you know, male figures, they just love to just hug on her and kiss on her and touch her and just compliment her. And they love it. So I was like, okay. Ashley was glad to support Stacey's business, but she thought that it was weird that she was naming her cannabis line a Nigerian name, already knowing that her friend Wendy is actually Nigerian, and the Nigerian word that she uses means happy. Happy Eddie, whatever her name was, meant happy. Everybody's confused. Everybody's looking at Stacey like, girl, what is wrong with you? What did Wendy say last week? Single black female is what it's giving. Like, child. Angel then asked, you know, about the social justice. What social justice is Stacey bringing to the forefront with her cannabis line? And Stacey dismissed her. Was like, girl, bye, whatever. We're not talking about this. So the ladies, they go and get on the G&A flow. Everybody seems to be very confused about the G&A flow. Are we a clothing line? Are we an athletic line? Gizelle didn't even notice she was going to be on the darn float with G&A. Like, everybody is just surprised by this. But this is what Ashley wanted to do for the prize. So this is what she did. So all the ladies, they got on, you know, they had a good time waving. Ashley's pouring water on herself and the people just doing what they do. Ashley tells us that she came out to her grandmother at church, you know, and her grandmother was not very supportive nor embracive. So she then again came out at 14. She went to DC Black Pride, found her community, and she's been a part of the scene ever since. Gizelle was expecting to see Monique, or wasn't expecting to see Monique, but she was glad to see her, and she brought good energy and good vibes to the party and to the event, and she said she needed that because it's been a little dull around here lately. Wendy asked, you know, what happened to you and Chris? Pretty much, you know, you guys were together, and then next thing you know, y'all were getting divorced. And Monique feels that, you know, they presented a great image to everyone. You know, on the outside, they presented like they were together and on one accord and doing well, but on the inside, she felt unloved, unwanted, and treated like a piece of meat. She, you know, she felt that Chris would be one way when he wanted something, and then as soon as he got what he wanted, he would go right back to his original behavior. And so she put the idea to the test. You know, he wanted some, she gave him some, and after that, he rolled over and went on about his business. And Monique said, from that day forward, I will never be used by this man again. And so Tia asked, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? You know, she said after her daughter turned 6 months, she knew then pretty much that her marriage was over, and it was a done for at that point. We have a house tour from Angel and Bobby. They're going to see.
Wait, that's a lot. Let's stop there. Let's stop there. Because that's a lot, and I got stuff to say.
Okay.
First of all, and I'm gonna go a little bit out of order, but when all of a sudden, when did Ashley let us know that she was bisexual? You know, these people, they pissing me off Royaire with trying to connect to the LGBTQ plus community. Now all of a sudden, when you was a little girl, you came out as bisexual, you found your people. Well, you found your people, then how did you find what was the husband's name? Michael. So Michael. When you found Michael, then you knew what it was? Was y'all together? Did y'all meet each other at one of the events? Like, Ashley, please. Okay, I just couldn't with Ashley. I was like, what? Where's this coming from? I just, you know what? I just didn't even accept that. I was like, this is stupid, and I can't, right? So yeah, we're at the Pride Parade and GNA. GNA is confusing. Now, somebody was being messy. I forgot who said it to say, is this just a tax break? GNA is messy. We don't know if it's closed. We don't know if they're doing philanthropy. We don't know what GNA is, okay? GNA is just a hot, confusing mess. But you know what? If you want to make a float for a Pride Day, I ain't mad at you. Get the float, support the people, but get out of my face with this. I was bisexual and came out to my Nana. You ain't tell Nana them lies. You a liar. I don't believe that. I do not believe she came out to her Nana. So you came out to Nana, but what did you come out to your mom, and what did your mom say? She full of crap. I just couldn't with her, right? This whole Stacey and Chris dating and KB and Macy, KB and Messy, you know, saying, oh, don't y'all know each other, whatever the case may be. I gotta give this to Stacey. Stacey, hands down. Now we're gonna see later on that Stacey I don't know if the truth is Stacey, but you know what? The truth ain't in it. But I tell you this, she's still the MVP. Stacey is the housewife we didn't even know we needed. Because that chick keep it G. She keep it 100. And I'm gonna save the rest of that to the end of the last scene. Stacey is that girl, okay? Stacey keeping it 100. She stood there and was like, what are you talking about? And then when Angel tried to say to her, what is she doing? Listen, at the end of the day, it's weed.
Right. Like, girl, stop.
What social responsibility and all this other stuff you gonna do for you selling cannabis and gummies and weed? Like, come on, give me a break. That's why Stacey was like, I ain't even talk about that no more. We done. Now, Stacey, if you want to name your products a Nigerian name, I will agree with Wendy. At the very least, you need to pronounce it right. When she told her Shia, something like that. Listen, when she told her she wasn't even pronouncing the name of her business right, I said, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. And Ashley coming to her talking about, oh, this, that, and the other. Ashley, I'm gonna need you and Gizelle to get GNA right before you come in anybody face about their business. Now, do I think that is messy what Stacey's doing or did already? Oh, 100% I do, because I think it's ridiculous that the name means happy. Stacey couldn't find no other name for this business. It's Messy Boots, but it is what it is. Monique, I'm really not here for Monique. Monique left and came back the same way she left. A hot stinking mess, okay? A hot stinking mess. Her confessional look is tragic. Tragic. Those that like the braids with the crown and listen, Bravo likes the Dean. We got away with it with we. I'm gonna try to, maybe we could try to cue it up and just freeze on the confessional look. The confessional look is tragic to me. Okay.
I got you. Hold on.
And for Monique to come there and all she got for us is to still talk about her failed marriage. That's why I like Candy, right? Because Candy says she ain't got no regrets. This girl sitting here still, it's been 2 years, she says she's divorced out of her mouth. You got kids by this man. Why did you come back on TV? You dogged them out on, what did she do? Love and Marriage, whatever. Was it DC?
DC.
You did Love and Marriage DC. and you drag Chris for filth. Now you coming back on Potomac and you dragging this man, talking about you felt like a piece of meat. We was a good image. So you said, I think she said the little girl was what, only 2 months or 6 months? Something like that. And she knew that it was going to be over. She would, 6 months. She wasn't being loved properly. I was like, what the hell? I thought that was tasteless, Royaire. I thought it was not a good look. And I was like, really, Monique, this is all you got to come back with, is to just trash your ex-husband? Like, you saying, oh, I don't care if he dating somebody, it's been 2 years or whatever the case may be. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that, in my opinion, Monique was just kind of expressing how she felt from her aspect of her marriage. You know, if it came off as trashing her husband, I hate that. But everybody has their perspective of how they felt and what they felt from the marriage. From Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC. Was it DC? Yes, DC. I do think that Monique did not share her husband in the best light, in my opinion. She was not very nice to him. And it's kind of spilling over into this show as well. But that was her perspective of him, and I'm sure she's got a perspective, or he has a perspective of her as well. So
that Chris called Diva. Listen, but you know what though, Royaire? At some point, to me, when you have kids, you let it go. You let it go. Yeah, that's tragic.
I didn't even pay no attention to it.
Tragic. She looks a hot, stinking mess. It was tragic. I understand Chris treating her like meat. He was always talking about having sex, and that becomes annoying. But she was okay with it when she was broke, living in her car, and she wanted to get with him. He didn't wait till after she had 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever to treat her the way he was treating her. If you said when your daughter was 6 months, you knew that you had enough, let's stop the games. You knew before you even got pregnant with the daughter. But you wanted a certain amount of money. You wanted to get something out of that relationship. So you endured it. You did what you did. And listen, if you want to talk about mothers, Chris' mother is another one that said, I can't stand that heifer. Did not like Monique. So Monique, I'm not feeling her. I think it's tasteless because you have kids by this man and you still carry his last name. Because in her house, she got a little sign up talking about the Samuels.
You better notice.
Okay. So you still carrying his last name. It ain't that bad. Yeah. Okay. And I know you want to say, oh, you doing it for maybe you're going to say you doing it for the kids. Leave the kids with his last name and go back to your maiden name if it was that bad. Treat me like a piece of meat. And after that, I gave him some. After that, I said I knew he was never going to be inside of me again. Girl, go back wherever you was. Go back to that house. What she got? What's the dog name? With that dog. The dog that's bigger than her, and the bird that calls her mommy. I thought it was tasteless. I thought it was in bad taste to do that. It was horrific. It's been 2 years, girl, and you claim you went to therapy and you better. You're not. If you were better, you would have just said, you know what? We had an image we was keeping up. It didn't go well. We're co-parenting nicely, and that's it. Chris and Cookie is suspect. Chris ain't touching Cookie. Chris ain't putting nothing in no Cookie.
I'm hollering.
Yeah, Chris ain't touching Cookie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I will say I and I see what you're saying when it's displaceless, but I also feel that this is her perspective. This is how she's seeing her man, and And she did follow through with this. Like you said, you walked into this knowing Chris didn't just become this person. And I think what a lot of people think is that they can change who people are. And one thing for me, when you walk into a marriage, I always believe that you should ask yourself the question, if the individual that you are with today never changes anymore from this day going forward, are you okay with this? And if you're not, that's a red flag for you. But seems like Monique, like you said, was willing to put up with what she wanted to get what she wanted. And so, here we are. But I would love to hear Chris's side. I do want to say that. I would love to see how Chris' experience was, because she has an interesting perspective herself. So, Chris, feel free to come on down to our podcast and share your perspective on the reality recap, okay?
Well, according to Cookie, Chris is pissed.
Which is even more of a reason why he should come and share his feelings so he can get that energy off of him. Let the world know.
Get that energy off of him. They got kids. I'm really big on when you got kids, especially when you're in the public. I think it's so unfair to the kids for one of the parents, like in the marriage is talking about the other one. I think it's deplorable. I think it's wrong. I think it's messy for you to be sitting up on that television talking about their father treated you like a piece of meat. And I told him he would never be inside of me again. And at 6 months, I knew it was over. Girl, go sit down somewhere. You claimed you evolved. She want to go all, she one with the earth. You and the earth are not connecting, honey. You're off. You need to go back to, what? I don't know where they find their therapists at. Because they all be claiming they went to therapy and they rise above.
The same place Tamar found her therapist, that's where.
Listen, she don't want no smoke with Gizelle. She's like, I want to start over. But you can't even start over with the man you had kids with. Girl, go somewhere and sit down.
Let's be clear. Monique needed to get out of living in her deranged.
Durango. She did. She was living in her car and she accepted it. Yeah.
Chris is a decent guy. Chris is a decent guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to talk about her in public. He's not.
Yeah. Yes. He don't have to. Cookie gonna do all the talking, so. But yes, I thought it was very distasteful of Kay to bring up that whole situation. Like I said at the beginning, Kay, you need to find you a storyline. Focus on you. Focus on what you got going on with Greg. Stop just trying to be messy unintentionally. You really dislike Stacey for what? She hasn't lied to you personally. She don't even talk to you like that. So I don't understand what the beef between her and Stacey is and why it's necessary. It's not. It's totally unnecessary. And we need to move on. Like, figure you out a storyline and stop worrying about her. Angel, you do the same. How about you address the actual issues that you have with other people instead of jumping on bandwagons with Kay? To just stop it. It was totally unnecessary. So stupid. So yes. In our anything else on that first scene?
Angel is special, but we'll get to her.
Yes, we're gonna talk about Angel tonight as well. So we get a house tour. Speaking of Angel, we get a house tour with Angel and Bobby. Today they are touring a 4-bedroom, 6-bath home for $3,250,000. Now this house has a lot of character, and Angel seems to be very interested in the decor of the home, and is curious if the owner is willing to leave some pieces behind. They plan to live by coastal. They still do have their Colorado home that they grew into. It took them about 4 years to find that home, but they've always wanted to have a home in the DMV area. So they are looking in the DMV, and they're taking their time looking. She said they have seen, looked over over 100 houses, but they've actually seen so many that she can't even count anymore. So they're still trying to find the right exact place for them. The ceilings, her husband must be very tall, because a lot of the rooms that he went into, his head was just right there at the ceiling. He had to watch his head a few times. They did go out on the little deck area and, sit down and have a little chit chat. And so Angel is still upset about the comment that Gizelle made about her being a catfish. Okay. She's still upset about that whole situation. And, you know, she's also upset because she feels like that Wendy gaslit the comment. But she's saying Wendy was the original person to say that she was a catfish. Now, based off of the replay from the episode, Gizelle was the first one to say catfish. And Wendy implicated the meaning of what she was saying. But she's seeing it that Wendy started all of this mess, okay? And so Bobby's like, well, you know, does it really matter? You know, I understand where you're coming from, but, you know, do we really have to hold on to these things? And she's like, she's offended by it. It's bothered her and it was disrespectful. And so she's going to address it the next time she gets with the ladies, okay?
Again,
after we already received an apology and talked to the individual that actually did it in the first place. Angel, I need you to pick a side, stay on it, and don't move another muscle. Girl, stop. You're doing way too much. And for nothing. You having petty beefs and petty issues with people that you don't even really know yet. Why? Stop. And mad at the wrong people. Gizelle is hosting a luncheon. Ashley, Tia, and Kay are going to be joining her, so all the ladies come in. The ladies have seemed to love Grace down from the G&A Flow event the other day, so they loved, you know, talking about Grace, and Grace loved Tia. She was something. She gave her a little nickname. I can't even remember what the nickname was. English Muffin. Yes, English Muffin. Gizelle announced that her podcast, Reasonably Shady with Robin, has reached 10 million downloads. Congratulations, Gizelle.
Oh my!
Oh, well, this is not Grace's show.
Ouch! Ouch!
Is she supposed to be doing something? I think Gizelle does enough for all three of the girls, so they okay. They're okay being boring. But, you know, Gizelle announces she's got 10 million downloads with her and Robin's podcast, Reasonably Shady. They have been nominated for NAACP Image Award and one of Black Effect's top podcasts. So they seem to be doing very well with their podcasts. Kay brings up the fact that she received a call from Cookie. And so, Cookie, you know, her and Cookie was chit-chatting on the phone. Apparently, Chris just so happened to click in on the line while they was on the phone. And so, from my understanding, if I'm...
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't. Okay. So... while Kay was on the phone with Cookie, apparently Chris popped in on the line, and so she clicked over, and then she gets back with Kay and begins to share with Kay how, you know, Chris is really upset because of, you know, Monique is out here bad bashing his name, bad bashing his bad sex, and, you know, calling her, you know, saying he was a piece of meat to Monique, you know, or Monique was a piece of meat to him. And so the very verbatim conversation that was said at that flow, you know, at the G&A event is now being repeated back to Chris, allegedly. And according to Cookie, Stacey is the individual that made the announcement to Chris. Now, Gizelle and all the other ladies, they were shocked. They were blown aback. They wigs that flew back a few miles off their heads. They had to push them back forward because they were shocked that an intimate girls' conversation went outside the girl group and was shared with a ex-husband. They were not happy, okay? So I'll stop with those two scenes and we can address that because the next scene was pretty big.
Yeah. Bobby and Angel house hunting and their budget is $3.5 million. He is tall because a lot of those ceilings was low for him. They always wanted to be bi-coastal, and they want to raise their kids in Maryland because that's where they're both from. You know, and he said he's Zillow drunk. They done saw so many houses. They're not going to rush, honey. She said, we ain't going to rush to get nothing. We're going to take our time. It took them 4 to 5 years to find their home in Colorado. And
I said that Cookie set up for Kay to come Gizelle with the book.
Okay. I said to myself, Angel, you come on now. You don't got no 4 to 5 years. The kids will be in high school. How you gonna raise them in Maryland if it's gonna take you 4 to 5 years just to find a property so you could renovate it? Like, come on, Angel. You know,
Sheree with Chateau Sheree.
Yeah, you know, Angel with this keep bringing up the same thing. She's another one. Y'all cutting up. I'm just telling you what the chick said, okay? You know, her keep bringing up this whole catfish thing. I'm over it. And first of all, I am with Wendy on this. How do you keep giving Wendy all of this smoke when she's not the one that said it about you? Gizelle is. Whether Wendy was sitting there with a kiki and a ha-ha or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Gizelle is the one that said it to you. She said it to your face, but you already know you're not going to keep coming back and just Gizelle face with all of that. So now you want to say you mad at Wendy because Wendy is the one that said catfish. No, roll back the footage. You're going to look like a whole fool at the reunion. Roll back the footage when they're going to show that Gizelle is the one that first said the word catfish. And yeah, she is a strange pickle. And then when you find out that it was Gizelle, I bet you she'll get over it real quick then. Then at that point, she's going to go ahead and let it go. She's on Wendy for whatever reason. I guess she felt Wendy is the low-hanging fruit that she could talk about. Yeah, she's not. She's not. Nah. Stacey stay on ready, and Angel is not ready at all. Like you could bring Angel the suitcase, the plane ticket, get a limo driver to the airport. She is just not ready. Angel's not. Angel likes Wendy cause Kay doesn't. She gotta. Oh, so that's why she's okay. That's why she's staying on her back. Well, you know what? She's looking stupid though. She's looking stupid because you're on her back for some reason that's not even that doesn't make sense. It's not valid. And you sitting there and Bobby sitting there like because he's tired of hearing it too. Bobby wants you to let it go too. So take the lead of your husband and let this thing go because it's stupid at this point. All right. So, you know, other than that, I ain't got nothing else for her and Bobby in that scene, right? So this luncheon with Gizelle, Ashley, Tia.
I will say this. They seem to have a very genuine relationship. Bobby really seems to be there to truly love her and support her and to give her the desires of her heart. He really does seem to be, or they seem to be a very compatible person. Very compatible with each other. So I did enjoy their scene because it just seemed so authentic and real. And he was honest with her. He ain't blowing smoke up her butt about this situation. Like he said, is it really that serious? You know, even though you feel disrespected about it. We've been talking about this for how long, Diva? We on episode 8? So, let's go.
Let's go. No, definitely, I do feel the love between them. He loves his wife. And see, that's what makes them a good on paper couple for the Real Housewives of Potomac, but she is not ready. She's not ready. These girls would literally eat her alive because she is not ready. She's crying. I think Angel should have a second season. She has glimpse of being good TV. I don't see it, Will. I don't see it. She always crying. And listen, Bobby got to stay on speed dial. She in Nevis, and he had to sleep with one eye open just in case she called him. Like, you know, to say like whatever problem she was having while she was in Nevis. If Bobby don't pick up that phone, she will fall apart. And she based her feelings on what Kay said. Kay left that luncheon when they was at the dinner, whatever, when they was in Nevis, and Angel stayed. And she seemed to have bonded with the girls, giving high fives, hugs, and all of that. Then she go back to the room with Kay, and then she decides everything wasn't good again. And she wakes up the next morning with sunglasses on crying. I can't with Angel, you know, whatever. So, you know, with Gizelle, Ashley, Tia, Kay, and his lunch, you know, Tia was happy to meet Grace. Grace was happy to meet everybody. Grace nicknamed Tia English Muffin, speed dial and jet ready to fly out. He got the PJ ready. He don't play about his angel. Girl, it's a girl trip. It's a bunch of girls. You're supposed to be that girl. Now, you want to know who could be on this TV? We said it last week. Her sister, Ingrid.
Hello. Bring her back. Now bring her.
Ingrid would give us a show. Okay.
She would be shaking the tables. Okay.
Yes, she would. So, Gizelle tells them how she's going to throw this, party because they hit 10 million downloads, which I think is really great. And she said this party is happening. But she also kind of mentioned how, what's the name? Robin is probably most likely not going to be there or whatever the case may be. And, she kind of said in her confessional how Robin, she didn't like the way that she left the group. And that's the reason why she's not going to be at the party or wasn't at the party, whatever. But the lies you tell, because Robin told us she left on her own accord. That's what Robin has said. See, y'all can't lie and say when y'all get fired that y'all left on your own accord, but then later on you bitter about coming up and showing up in one scene. If you that girl and you ain't worrying about Potomac and the check and all of that, come up to the party. Show up for the scene. But you ain't want to be filmed because you got kicked out the group, but whatever. And then I guess she probably, I don't know how she would address Wendy, because we know that Gizelle and Wendy made up, but did Gizelle, that Gizelle, and Wendy made up, but did Robin and Wendy make up? So, interesting, right? So how that happen? How she get K number? So now all of a sudden Cookie just calling everybody, right? So Cookie got K number. She's speaking, and she lets us know that Stacey had told Chris all the business. Now listen, do I believe Stacey probably told the business? Yes. Or somebody told Chris the business. Do I believe that Chris knows the business? Yeah. Do I think he would be pissed if knowing the business? Did Stacey perhaps put 2110? She probably did. But you know what? Chris needed to know that his wife was talking mess about his ex-wife was talking mess about him. So I was here for it. Cookie, and they said Cookie gonna be at the party, and Cookie messy behind was at the party.
Yeah. Emmanuel says at BravoCon, Robin was defensive every time someone asked her about the show. She even refused to answer most questions.
So why did she come? She better.
I don't know what everybody is expecting out of Robin. Even when Robin was on the show, she never did anything. The one event that Robin hosted, which was an outdoor event. How do you mess up an outdoor event, Diva?
Well, she was that you talking about that time when she was being nasty and said Wendy and her kids couldn't come. Yeah, no, that was nasty. So that's why
it was an outdoor event.
She messed it up for you because it was never going to be right because you was being nasty to the kids.
Yeah, I don't know what people are expecting from her. I don't know what people think that Robin, she wasn't coming back to the show. Especially after those allegations with her husband, it's going to force Robin to answer questions that we have not had answered down through the years about her husband cheating on her, messing with people that was at the school and all of this stuff. Robin is not going to go to a place where she can't control the atmosphere and what is said. And to me, we didn't need her on the show. No way. I'm even really surprised. In my opinion, the show is probably only doing so well because of Gizelle, because Gizelle can rip them off and read the girls. And like Wendy said, how are we gonna come to see the Supremes and only Diana Ross show up, the star of the show? So we didn't miss much of nothing with her not coming anyways. But I in my opinion, I think Cookie is the one that released the information to Chris. I believe that Stacey, not Stacey, excuse me.
Cookie wasn't there when they was talking about it.
That's what I'm getting to. I believe that Kay went back and repeated the information because they are messy like that. Kay has been showing up messy this whole season Why would she not want to continue the mess going, especially when it comes to Stacey? Because you dislike her so bad. You was willing to try to throw her under the bus with Monique. What wouldn't be the reason to throw her under the bus with Chris? Like it just, I don't. I would hope that Stacey wouldn't have gone back and repeated that information. I don't see her being that type of messy. Just my thoughts and opinions, though. Everybody at that table is cool with Cookie, Gizelle, Ashley, Kay. Anybody could have went back and repeated it.
Yeah, anybody could have repeated it. But listen, I like Stacey. I think she's good TV. But Stacey lies. She does. We've seen it. So, when it comes to did Stacey tell, could she have told, I wouldn't put it past Stacey because the truth ain't in Stacey. She lies. In the scene with her and Tia, this Stacey lies.
And she's back with her husband. What reasoning does she still have to be talking to Chris?
But because she knows how to do TV.
Okay.
I don't know. We have to see. Yeah, and she lies with a straight face. She sure does. and then later on, and that's a scary person. And then later on, she'll come out and be like, well, yeah, it is true. She wasn't doing a cannabis business at the reunion, but then all of a sudden she got a cannabis business. She wasn't copying from Wendy, but now she's part Nigerian because she did an ancestry and she's naming the thing happy Stacey pretty much but instead she used the Nigerian word for happy. Like, come on, Stacey. Like I said, I like her, but she lies. Yeah, I think Tracy said it. Yeah, I do too.
Okay, the people seem to be agreeing with you. They all lie, but at least Stacey is entertaining.
She is entertaining. She is entertaining. She is, and that's why I said she's the MVP for sure.
Yes,
she's the MVP for sure. Because Stacey will sit there and be like, "What? What is she talking about? I didn't say that."
My Nigerian sisters.
Listen, you gotta.
You are hilarious.
Yes, you gotta give it to her. She is TV. She is TV royalty. Okay, she's the MVP right now, Potomac. Listen, it wouldn't be this interesting without Stacey. And then you ask the question, the live course, she's gonna make you question.
It will, because I'm over here trying to like.
Yeah, no, Stacey doing it. She doing it. She doing it. She is doing it for real. She doing it.
She is. So we have a lunch with Wendy and Monique. Monique shares that Wendy was the first person that reached out to her after the fight with her and Candace back in season 7. Wendy felt that they never really got a chance to really get to know each other because by the time Wendy was being ushered in, Monique was being ushered out. Okay. And Wendy was surprised that Monique reached out to her to have this little luncheon, to catch up with each other. Monique was curious of what Gizelle and Wendy's relationship looks like right now. And so Wendy shared that, she would consider Gizelle much more of a friend than she has in the past with their relationship. And she feels that Gizelle and Monique should have a sit down to try to talk and reconnect and kind of build back the bond that they are, the lack thereof of what they had, prior to the whole fallout at the reunion in that season. Monique asked about Karen as well. Wendy said, she has not heard from Karen since last season. She was very good to Karen, a really good friend. And all of a sudden, when Karen did not show up to the reunion, she sent in a video thanking everybody but Wendy. And Wendy was so confused because she's been nothing but a friend to Karen during, their tenure of friendship. And, she shares that Cookie does relay messages to the other ladies from Karen, so the other ladies do stay in contact with her. And she shared that Stacey shared that Karen was talking about Wendy behind her back. So they kind of fell out. Monique says that Cookie met Karen through her. And she does not talk to Cookie. She shares that she met Cookie back in 2007 at one of Chris's birthday parties. They had the Godfather of Go-Go, Chuck Brown, there performing. And so Cookie claimed that that was her dad. Come to find out, they ain't got no kinship to one another, okay? And so Monique says she don't do liar, she don't do foolishness, and, you know, since then, she is not fooled with her. Monique was, you know, curious, or Wendy wanted to know what Monique thought about the new girls. She said they seemed cool, you know, trying to get to know them was interesting, you know, they got some vibes about them. You know, she was kind of iffy on Stacey as well. She feels that Wendy should kind of step back from the friendship with Stacey and really analyze the things that's going on. You know, she's copied you and Eddie's business brand, you know, she's copied, you know, having a Nigerian name, you know, she's not honest about a lot of the things that, you know, from what Monique is hearing. And so she feels that, you know, Wendy need to step back and analyze things, make sure things, you know, are really what they say they are between her and Stacey. And then we have a pool day real quick with Stacey, Thiemo, and Tia, okay? Robin said recently, Shady, she ran into Keiarna and Keiarna told her, I got street cred now. Oh, we're going to just get it down to the slammer. Okay, street cred.
I'll pass on the street cred if I gotta
go. I don't want none of that. Yeah. You can keep all of that. Keep that.
And you in your 60s? Talking about some street cred? Girl, bye.
Ain't learned nothing. Not
nothing.
So, pool day. Arabella's, I guess she's on the swim team. And so they're up early in the morning, out for Arabella's practice. Stacey shares with us that her and Thiemo are still doing Evite dates, and they're back to having fun again in their relationship. They are at practice to support Arabella in her swim classes. Tia comes to meet with Thiemo and Arabella, or comes to meet Thiemo and Arabella. Stacey introduces them to everybody. Stacey feels that Tia is a soft launch for Thiemo to enter into meeting someone in the group, even though Wendy is her closest friend in the group, allegedly. Okay? Tia invites Thiemo to have dinner, a triple date with her husband and her husband Rob, Wendy and Eddie, and of course Stacey and Thiemo. And Thiemo said, unfortunately, he's going to be out of town. He's leaving town, and so he won't be able to attend. And so Stacey said, yeah, he won't be back till next week, I believe. So yeah, we're not going to be able to attend that. Okay. Since Thiemo won't be able to attend Gizelle's event either, you know, Stacey is going to be a third wheel to Rob and Tia at the event since Thiemo will not be able to make it. Tia asked, will Thiemo be meeting any of the other ladies? And so Stacey said, I'm not crazy, stupid, nor dumb. Okay. She ain't bringing her man into the group. And maybe when Gizelle introduces her man to the group, then she'll bring Thiemo into the group to introduce. Tia brings up enjoying Monique's presence at the party the other day. It was nice to meet Monique. And so Tia was trying to throw in little hints about whether or not, you know, what was Stacey and Chris's relationship like? You know, do they talk often? You know, how does she know him? And so Stacey gave the general rundown that she's been given. You know, he's a great father, a great friend. We went out a few times, and that's pretty much it. Nothing more, nothing less. Stacey says, you know, they talk socially. Nobody wants to. Okay. Tia hates that Thiemo won't be able to make it to Gizelle's party. And Stacey said that, you know, Thiemo is just not at a comfort level to be able to meet the ladies just yet. So those were those two scenes. Anything on the lunch with Wendy and Monique and poolside meetup?
Listen, Wendy and Monique, you know, Cookie, child, you know, we need these ancillary characters, right? Because they give enough life to the show that you don't give us that little mix that we need. And Cookie is messy, okay? Cookie is straight messy. And you know, but when Monique said that Cookie lied about being related to the artist, I said, woo, ooh. Yeah, well, you know what, Jeremy, you and I are the only ones that want Candace back. So
I'm on Candace back too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why they don't bring Candace back because I want to see this little baby. But anywho, yeah. So Cookie is messy, and she says she don't trust Cookie. Cookie's a liar. She don't believe nothing Cookie got to say, right? And then Wendy. It was funny how they brought up the confessionals, but yet Monique's claimed that Wendy was the first one to text her. And Wendy was saying like she wasn't in the confessionals, like when they did the backtrack of it.
I was confused by that too. I was like, I thought she didn't talk to her at all.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, like you said, but okay, right? And then Wendy, she's saying Karen, that Karen, they hear about Karen through Cookie. Okay. Cookie give all the Karen updates, and Monique said she kind of knew that Karen was probably going to get jail time. I think we all did, right? They said Chuck Brown is only known in the DMV area. Child, listen, child, Cookie claimed that was her daddy, or what she said that was, or whoever she claimed Chuck Brown was to her, right? She lied saying she was Chuck Brown's daughter.
Just like that boy lying and saying Jay-Z with his daddy.
Cookie is messy, but honestly, I know that's your first family, Royaire, but I really feel that boy is Jay-Z's son, but that's a whole nother story in another day. Yeah, sugar daddy, right? I'm 50 gold. So Stacey, Thiemo, and Tia comes by. That was interesting and weird at the same time. I think Thiemo really, he's another one, like he's trying to support Stacey, but I don't think he really want to be up on this TV. It's weird for him. I mean, he definitely doesn't want to be doing lunch and all of that with them because this is not what he wants to do. This ain't what Thiemo wants to do, right? So Thiemo showed up to the swim meet. Tia came. And and she was like, I only trust Tia around, my man or whatever the case may be. That scene, it was what it was. That's all I got to say with that.
Period. He don't have time for them. Thiemo said he will buy it.
I'm 50 said Thiemo is a scammer. Oh my God.
Not the scheme.
The scheme that I set up. Oh my God.
The scheme that Stacey Cat set up to come to us with the mess, okay? So yeah, those two, I mean, nothing special. Like you said, I was shocked about Wendy, Monique saying Wendy reached out to her first. I don't, recall them really having a strong rapport with one another, in my opinion, but okay. I think it's interesting that Monique has picked up on Stacey's behavior and is telling Wendy to keep an eye out. Be careful. Check your friend. Make sure that that's really what it is. And Cookie, I could see Cookie lying. They said allegedly Cookie has been to jail. Been behind the bars. She's familiar back there. And based off the end of this episode, I believe it because she was not afraid to go there. And this whole Stacey Thiemo pool meetup situation, I thought, in my opinion, it was weird for her to invite Tia to meet your husband, even though you've been hanging with Wendy. You've called Wendy your Nigerian sister. Y'all seem to have this very strong bond. Wendy is not overbearing or messy as the other girls. So I think she would have been good enough to be able to meet Thiemo and it still be a positive introduction. But Tia went in her investigative mode and she got what she could get. Okay. She did not get the dinner with the family that she wanted. She wanted to do the triple date. It didn't happen. I would have thought, and I also think that the triple date would have been a comfortable space for Thiemo as well, because Eddie is a great guy. He's fun. He's cool. Rob seems to be a super cool dude. I just didn't understand why Stacey didn't feel comfortable bringing Thiemo at least with those group of ladies. And it just seems like Stacey's not willing to be really honest about what she's really got going on with her personal life. You just kind of throwing us wherever you can to keep us off what's really going on. I don't know. It could be just me, but I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. It just didn't. And Thiemo is just, maybe he doesn't need to be on camera either, because he wasn't comfortable as he was walking up. She was saying, "Can you smile a little bit?" Like, he just wasn't there to be there at all. He wasn't with the cameras. He wasn't with meeting nobody. So Stacey, keep him where he at. Gizelle is getting ready for her event. She meets up with Grace and her party planner. Grace is helping to plan her party. Grace has been out of college for a few years now, so she's finding her way. Gizelle found out that Robin will not be coming to the event. And she's not coming because she's not proud of how she exited the show. All the ladies are coming to Gizelle's event. She wants to uninvite Stacey because now, Tia's, pace yourself, because next will be Rob getting investigated.
Go ahead, carry on. Don't mess with that.
Yeah. So, Gizelle wants to uninvite Stacey to the party because it was shared with her that, you know, apparently Stacey went back and repeated the girlfriend information that was, you know, commented in the group conversation that they had the other week. So she's not happy about that. Tia, Rob, and Wendy and Eddie go to dinner together. And I really enjoyed this dinner, Diva. I thought it was a great scene with the couples. You know, they seem to all get along together and have a good vibe with one another. So they have a little meet and greet with each other. As a couple, Rob and Tia have been together for 17 years. Wendy and Eddie have been together for 14 years. Tia and Rob met in 98. She did lie about her age. She was really 19. Eddie and Wendy have known each other since they were 17. They began as friends. And Eddie was feeling Wendy, but Wendy wasn't feeling Eddie because he didn't have a car. He wasn't all of that, you know, looking at the time, I'm guessing. They reconnected in college, and she said Eddie was fine and he had a car, and they've been together since. Tia and Rob moved to Maryland 5 years ago from Chicago. Tia shares that she invited Stacey's husband, but he would be out of town. But she did meet Thiemo, and that Stacey said that Tia was the launching pad and the best person to meet him. Wendy was immediately offended because, you know, she feels that she's really good friends with Stacey. She's been very supportive of Stacey, and she's taken this Shia situation with the cannabis business very nicely compared to how she could have taken it. You know, Wendy was so offended that she said, "Oh, we're going to call Stacey up." And so she picked up the phone and dialed Stacey. "Hey, Stacey, how are you? Just wanted to talk to you, girl. So I heard that Tia met Thiemo." And so, you know, she wanted to know why she didn't get the opportunity to meet Thiemo. She's been great friends to Stacey. And so immediately Stacey said, well, Tia, first of all, I don't apologize. You creating mess in my friendship with Wendy. I regret my husband, introducing my husband to you. And Wendy, I apologize. You are a great friend to me, and you are my best friend in the group pretty much. And so Wendy was like, "Okay, well, we'll talk later. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And she said, "Okay, bye-bye." Tia shares that Angel, you know, Tia was automatically pissed. She said, "She's a liar. I'm mad at her. She's got the wrong one, and I'm going to deal with her immediately, okay? She's going to get her together."
No, Tia got chin check, but she... Because if you had that energy, you could have said it while you was on the phone. You could have said it while she was on the phone.
She's going to get her together in person later. We ain't going to worry about that phone conversation.
She said, "I don't appreciate you." And she told her right on the phone, she said, "And I regret it."
She's so fake. Full of bullshit.
Ooh, funny.
So Tia shares with us, Wendy, that Angel is still in her feelings and that she felt that Wendy was really mean to her at the airport on the way to Nevis. She didn't speak. She didn't give her a hug. She didn't greet her. Wendy said that's not true. That did not happen. And she also shares that, Angel feels that Wendy was the individual that called her a catfish and Gizelle ran with it. And Wendy shared at the dinner, no, I believe Gizelle said it first, and I was giving the meaning behind what she was saying. Pretty much she was translating what Gizelle was saying. Even though Gizelle said catfish, Wendy said, she's basically saying that your pictures don't look like exactly who you are, which is she's calling you a catfish. Okay. So, Wendy was like, it's just amazing to me how she's got all these issues with me and not with Gizelle. Gizelle the one that said it, but we'll address it later, okay? So that was that scene. I'll save this last scene so we can talk about Gizelle getting ready for her party and Tia, Rob, Wendy, and Eddie.
Gizelle getting ready for a party, I thought it was cute, right? I like the fact that Grace is there with her. And listen, sometimes after college, you got to find your way. Right. And so, but in the meantime, she's employing her daughter and her daughter's helping like set up the parties or whatever. And maybe she should allow her daughter to come on with Shady every now and then, right? And give it up to Stacey.
The whole call.
She did. That's why I'm telling you, Stacey is the MVP. She told Tia, I'm mad at you. You're messing up my relationship with Wendy. So now I regret even bringing you around Thiemo.
She flipped the whole conversation.
She flipped that whole call. And she did not. And she said, "And Wendy, I'm sorry, Wendy.
I apologize.
My best friend. You are my best friend. I'm sorry. Okay." And she lie about that him flying out? She did. She should have said, he's not gonna come. He ain't ready to do that. Right. She lied about that, but it didn't matter. She handled that phone call like a boss,
like a G. Okay. Like a G.
She didn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to you later." She was like, "Oh, Tia, you being messy.
Tia, how dare you?"
Trying to mess up my relationship with Wendy. She said, "I regret it. I regret it because you are my closest friend, Wendy." And by the way, I thought Wendy looked amazing at that dinner, that lunch.
Yeah.
Amazing. From the head to the toe. The dress was everything. Her hair, the finger waves was everything. Loved it. Stacey mad that she got caught. You know what? Stacey always getting caught in the lie, but she knows how to handle it. And like everybody said, she flipped that phone call like a G. Okay? She told Tia, "I'm mad at you." Okay. Yeah. She said, "You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't be messing up my relationship with Wendy. Matter of fact, I regret even introducing you to Thiemo." Yo, right here. I was sitting back watching that and I said, OMG. I said, oh, shoot. No, listen. Usually they might stutter and say, "I'll talk to you later." No, Stacey stayed on that phone call and let Tia know to her face, "I regret that I even did that. And Wendy is my girl."
Stacey is a professional gaslighter. That's gaslighting at its best.
You know what, though? She know how to do it. She know how to do it, okay? They messy. And she had the bigger bag than Monique. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Child, I hope that wasn't one of the bags that Wendy done stole. Allegedly.
Child.
Oh, man.
This whole thing is not, I'm trying to see it in different eyes, but when different things pop up, I just think about the trouble that they're in and just seeing this. But I'll go back to the finger waves was everything. I loved her look. She looked good. She looked good.
Really, really good. Really did.
Yeah. And I'm so emotional that these two got themselves caught up in this nonsense because Eddie and Wendy are a very nice looking couple.
Beautiful.
It's sad. Beautiful. It's very sad. But I like the way You know, those two, you know, the earrings, her whole styling was beautiful. Finger waves were nice, but she should save her money. Look, well, Jeremy, maybe she is, because you know the wigs, getting the wigs and the sew-ins and the glue or whatever, is more money. You know,
it
you
is
doing the waves. So you know, maybe she's saving the money with the finger waves, but she looked good. I really like that look. I was shocked when I saw her. It was very complimentary to her. So what else? So Gizelle preparing their luncheon. Yeah, Stacey said Wendy is her closest friend. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I like those two scenes.
Cool. Okay, we have reached our last scene. So, listen, we appreciate each of you for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. And if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. So, we're here at our last scene, the Reasonably Shady 10 million downloads party. And this is the all cast. So, all of the cast is here. Okay. So Tia gives us Tia updates the ladies with her and Stacey's latest lies. Okay. You know, she tells the ladies that, you know, they had a little moment together at the pool. She got to meet her family and her husband. And so she invited Thiemo and Stacey to dinner. Stacey said that Thiemo would be out of town. Well, long and behold, Thiemo was in town. Okay. So yet again, she's still lying, and I believe everything that you guys have said about her. You know, and I will say this about Stacey as well. Oh, and she addresses this later on. You know, how she tried to, you know, she heard the things about Stacey. She came into the group giving Stacey a clean slate. And so now Stacey has shown her who she is. And so she believes her. She's a liar. Okay. Angel came in with to greet Gizelle. You know, she talks to Gizelle to find out how she can get to know how they can get to know each other better and be in a better space. But she's still not okay with Wendy, and so Gizelle is confused on why Angel is still holding on to this issue and bringing it to her at the party. Like, this is her 10 million party. Like, why is she doing this? Some guy from Love Hotel was there who dated Ashley on the show. He came in, you know, greeted Gizelle, but, you know, wasn't going to greet Ashley. Gizelle made him go over there and speak to Ashley. Ashley says she dodged a bullet with his fake grill, you know, just like his fake love. So guess that didn't work out between the two of them. Wendy comes in with Stacey and her husband, and the tension in the room rises and begins, okay? Gizelle gave her speech. She thanked everybody for listening to her pod. You know, she said that they started their pod during the pandemic. Her and Robin were bored, and so they just started, and now they've reached 10 million downloads. Robin did not come, but she said, continue to enjoy the party. We appreciate you all being here. Cookie walks in the room, you know, and she goes around greeting her little people or whatever. Stacey wants to talk to Wendy and Tia, so she pulls them to the side to have a conversation. And so the ladies kind of follow suit and go over with the convo. Tia shares when she first met Stacey that everyone says she was a liar, but Tia took her time to try to get to know Stacey for herself. And Tia left, she left her home at 5 a.m. to go out and meet Stacey, to meet up with her family. And, you know, she said she was interested in a friendship, and she invited them to dinner, and she feels lied to, and she no longer wants to get to know Stacey anymore, pretty much.
Well,
Stacey said, you invited my husband and not me, and I told you that he was flying out for work. They then begin to go back and forth because, you know, Tia feels that Stacey is just lying about everything. She's lied about this situation with the dinner. She's lied about, you know, TJ and her being married and not being married, the cannabis line, you know, and Stacey is like, girl, we have no beef. What is your issue? You invited me to dinner. I told you I couldn't come. What's the problem? You know, they go back and forth arguing. Well, then Kay steps in yet again, messy Kay. And Kay brought up the issue, you know, since we're talking about being real friends, you know, I received a call from Cookie, basically repeating all the information that Monique shared at our last meetup group event, verbatim. And Cookie jumped in, you know, and pretty much said, don't act stupid, because Stacey was looking confused, like, what are you talking about? Like, huh? And so Cookie said, don't act stupid. You know what you did. And, Stacey then pointed her finger at Cookie. She said, don't you point your finger at me. You don't know me, girl. Don't you point your finger. And so Stacey said, well, let me get a little bit closer. Excuse me, and moved Gizelle out the way and did it again. And so security came over to kind of grab her. Wendy jumped up and said, well, hold on. Before we jump into this, Monique said that Cookie cannot be trusted. She's told a few stories in the past, and she don't really rock with her. So if we're going to talk about this, I believe that Monique needs to be here in the room to address it as well. Stacey's still pointing her finger and, getting closer and closer to Cookie. They remove Cookie. And so then her and Kay get into it. And Kay, and Stacey are going back and forth. Stacey's like, I don't understand what your issue is with me. We don't have no problem. Stacey saying you a liar and I will never bring you around my husband. And Stacey says, you don't have a husband for me to be around. And that ended off episode 8, season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Thank God for the reasonably shady 10 million download party. Okay. Because that whole party was straight up shady.
Lit. Okay.
I was here for every second of it. When Angel came to Gizelle was like, okay, so you're okay with me, but you still got beef with Wendy. And in her confessional, she was like, yeah, she needs to just get over it because Kate gets better, then she's mad, then she's mad, then she's better again. Then she go think about it and she mad again. So yeah. Stacey is that girl, period. Okay. So that guy that brought Gizelle the flowers, and then we found out he was from Love Hotel and him and Ashley or whatever. He came there to punk Ashley, but Gizelle said, no, go over there and say hi to Ashley. So, he did whatever. I mean, Ashley for the streets. She dating men, women, and everything in between. Ashley straight up for the streets, and she's raising 2 boys. Good luck to what's his name, Dylan, and what's his name? Yeah. Why would Cookie? Yeah, because they being messy. Cookie's messy though. Cookie straight up messy. And Cookie, they didn't have Karen, for the whole season. So they dug Cookie up. And I don't know, they gave Cookie $500 a scene, and she's on one. Every scene she show up, okay? With them big boobs. Okay. But anywho, right? I'm mad because Angel has me agreeing with Gizelle. That part. That part. Angel is just lost. Okay. She lost. Honey, so when they come to talk to Stacey about this whole thing before that, when Stacey went and said hi to Vivian, I said, yo, Stacey is gangster.
I forgot about that. Stacey is that girl, okay? You better leave her alone.
And she ain't but 2 pounds soaking wet. Stacey is gangster. She walked right up to Vivian. She said hi, and then she said, yeah, we need to talk. But then she got cute in the confession. It was like, I ain't got nothing for Vivian. I was like, good gosh. So now this whole Cookie thing, and I'm saying that Stacey gave the information. Listen, when she pointed that finger and Cookie said, don't point your finger at me, and she pointed the finger again, and Cookie was like, whatever Cookie said, and she said, let me move closer. I said, not you moving closer to let Cookie know you don't give a darn. She moved closer and was still pointing her finger. Said, I can point my finger wherever I want. And then Cookie got mad, and they had to drag Cookie out of there.
Because Cookie was about to catch a case.
Going to catch a case, but you know what though? Cookie said Stacey's a liar. Well, we all already know that. Stacey does lie, but who knows? Cookie said you said dog Cookie up. Did you say dog Cookie up? Listen, and then you know the other thing too with Cookie to be saying that she said that Stacey stank or whatever the case may be. Cookie was doing too much. Yeah. But I thought it was a good scene. And then when she told when Kay wanted to insert herself and said whatever nonsense she said, Royaire, I literally fell out the chair when she said, I would never bring you around my husband. She said, you ain't got no husband. I said, and honey, and Whitney was like, ooh. No. And Kay didn't know what to say after that. Kay was ready.
She was stuck.
Was not ready. She didn't know
Kay was glitching. She said,
yeah. I was done. I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't breathe, Royaire. I couldn't breathe. And for that scene alone, I'm gonna tell you why my rating for this week's episode is what it is. For that scene alone, let me tell you something right now. Since Bravo's giving out awards, Stacey need to get the MVP because Stacey slayed.
She did.
She slayed. She walked up to Vivian, said, "Hey, you look cute." She said, "We need to talk." She said, "Okay, we'll talk." Walked up to Vivian. She don't run away. She don't run away from situations. She come head on with it. She come head on. Head on. No, Cookie. I might have got scared when Cookie told me don't point my finger. Stacey was like,
"You want to put your finger down?"
Stacey was like, "I can point my finger."
You can't let Cookie chin check you. You cannot let her chin check you.
Well, listen. Cookie didn't chin check Stacey. Stacey chin checked her. Stacey was like, and she said, excuse me. Like, because you would think she was coming closer to Cookie. She said, I could stand when she.
Look, I know. Oh my God.
Stacey slayed. She slayed. She said, usually you're at a zero. Yeah, she said, usually you at a zero. Now you're at a 2. I said, oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Bravo, please though. But oh my God. Diva, this episode was a 10 across the board. I enjoyed every scene, every moment. The last thing set it off. And I want to say this is probably, so normally we get 14 to 16 episodes a season. I believe this is our mid-time season. So we'll probably go right into that new trailer that's coming out. And this was everything. Shout out to Potomac. Shout out to the production. Shout out to Bravo.
Shout out to Stacey. She said you usually at a 0.
Listen, y'all. A 2, okay? At the end of every recap, we like to get your thoughts and opinions on episodes that we recap. So we have recapped episode 8 of season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Leave your opinions down below. Diva, amazing episode. I totally enjoyed it. I had great laughs. I enjoyed getting to know some of these ladies a little bit deeper, getting to see the relationships a little bit more. We've got actual couples on the show, so it was nice to have a couples dinner finally with some, with a good couple. Excellent episode. I have no complaints. Bravo, Peacock, Truly Productions, whoever does the excellent job. Great job on episode 8.
Stacey is the housewife we didn't even know we needed. Honey, Stacey slayed. She slayed. And Wendy was here for every moment of it.
Wendy said, read the girls.
Wendy stays. Wendy helped her. I think behind the scenes, those two must have got close.
Yes,
because Wendy helped her. She said, "Hold up, wait a minute. I'm not liking the way this is going."
I mean,
because Monique told me. She said, "Because Monique told me that Cookie can't be trusted. Cookie's gonna lie if she come here. Cookie's gonna lie if she come here, honey."
I can see them being close, Diva, though. If we really look at and analyze these last 2 seasons, outside of the lying, Stacey and Wendy have very similar entries. They had a hard time getting to know the other ladies, a hard time really getting into the group and finding their footing, if you may. And so I think that made it a lot more easier for them to connect with one another as well. So yeah, I love it though. I love it. This was everything. What you got to say? Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, Andy needs to whatever Stacey getting, she needs to get more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to his Instagram and tell her that, because honey, she killing it.
It was a great episode.
She killing it.
And she was a major part of it. A major part of it.
Oh yeah.
Major. So I Am 50 Gold is giving this episode a 9. Shout out to Stacey. Okay. Listen, the people love her. Juanita, hey, Auntie Juanita, she's giving it a 10. Emmanuel is giving it a 10 out of 10 across the boards. Original is giving it a 9.5. Will is giving it a 10. What was that cookie in the profile pic that said 10? I don't know. I didn't see that. Sorry. Katrina is giving it a 9. Bricks is giving it a 10. Let's see. Explorer is giving it an 8.5. Fifi is giving it a 10. Pink is giving it a 10. 811 is giving it a 9.5. Lily is giving it a 10. Ocean Dreaming is giving it a 10. Well, it's 10s across the boards all the way. Paige is giving it a 10. This was a great episode. A great episode. And a great way to head us into our mid-season. We ready.
Ready.
We are ready. And so the
reunion
reunion should be getting geared up to film as well. So reunion is coming, people, and this is going to be a good reunion.
The union might be a little bit more though, because of everything that's going on with Wendy. And I think they remember that they picked up the cameras once it was announced that Wendy had gotten arrested. They picked the cameras back up. So I don't know how that all went, and it whatever the case may be. But either way, though, this season was worth every single moment, and that's a point blank in the period.
Yeah, they're picking them back up for Karen and for Wendy. So this is gonna be an interesting end to this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people, listen, we enjoyed this recap tonight. We have been recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac season 10, and it has been a great season so far. Like I said, I believe we are mid-season. Episode 9 will be dropping next week, so make sure you join us next week as we will be recapping episode 9 of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Let's see, Emmanuel, Wendy's court date is coming up after Thanksgiving. Yes, I remember her original court date. They did deny the closing of the case, so this case is going forward. They did ask to have separate trials. From what I hear, the separate trials were denied as well. So this is going to be an interesting situation. Very, very interesting with Wendy and Eddie. And sending the best wishes to them. All I can say is, if you do the crime, you got to do the time if you found guilty. So,
and you know what, Royaire, I agree with you. It's a sad situation. It's sad. Oh, Married to Me. Yeah, we are going to review Married to Me.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we are.
Yes. Listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. If you're not a subscriber to both of our channels, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and your notification bell on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. We will be recapping the Braxtons on tomorrow. We're going to be doing episode 7. Which is somebody had a graduation, a couple of things going on the episode. So we'll be recapping episode 7 on tomorrow. And the Braxtons have ended their season. They had a full 8-episode season. Excellent season. I've seen all the episodes, so we're going to finish off recapping that. And then, as Fifi said, we will be recapping Married to Medicine starting December 30th. So stay tuned for that as well. So, Diva, we want to show that.
November 30th. But
did I say November? December?
December.
November, people.
Show that what I shared.
Oh, okay.
She serious? She just got arrested. She was just that's Mia.
Mia.
She just got her. She looked beautiful, but she just got arrested. She was just in handcuffs. She talking about reborn, recentered, and refocused. Did you get the furniture back? Year 41. It may be soft, wealthy, protected, and intentional. Mia
was it her birthday?
I guess so, but she need to stop. Girl, you got court dates and stuff coming up. That's what you doing for 41. It's a beautiful picture, though. Yeah, come on, Paige, child. And ridiculous. Mel Brooks said, and ridiculous. Now we gonna put the handcuffs on her again. Girl,
yes. Yes.
Well, an absolute beautiful picture, but she needs to stop. Come on now. You stealing people furniture, you up here profiling. Oh God. I just can't with them. They simply don't get it.
No.
You stole $11,000 worth of furniture and you talking about recentered and refocused. Anyway, I just had to,
Yeah, we pray for the people. We gonna put her on the sick and shut in list and move on.
Okay, that's what we
listen. We want to wish everybody a happy early Thanksgiving. This Thanksgiving is this week, so we pray that you enjoy this Thanksgiving with your friends, family, and loved ones. Those of you who are having your first Thanksgiving without a loved one, we are sending you love, peace, and joy. And if you want to watch something funny, catch one of our recap playbacks. You will have an enjoyable time watching any recap that we do. So feel free to go check that out. But we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Anything, Diva?
No, listen. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget, hit the like button on both channels. We love y'all. We're gonna see y'all again tomorrow night.
Have a good night.
Good night, y'all. Bye.
Royaire's World.